Well, in a world filled with scrolling, swiping, and stimulation, a surprising trend is taking over social media. People recording themselves doing absolutely nothing for at least an hour. No talking, no music, no multitasking, just sitting.
I guess if you're recording yourself, you can't record yourself and swipe at the same time. You'd need two phones, and that gets expensive. So the idea of all of this is to reset your dopamine levels and then rediscover the power of boredom. Our Taylor Bruck takes a look at if and how this works.
3 mornings a week, you'll find Catherine Honorado literally doing nothing for an hour. No phone, no scrolling, no noise. Just sitting, daydreaming, and letting her mind wander. She's trying to reclaim her attention span.
I have ADHD, and I've noticed throughout the years that my ADHD is getting worse and worse. I definitely think that technology, social media definitely attribute to that.
She calls it phone fasting. It's part of a growing digital detox trend online. Psychologists say they might be onto something.
Boredom is really biologically essential. We need to have time to rest, to decompress, and our brains need time to disengage from activities.
In her book, Boredom is a Superpower, author and psychologist Lisa Gagné-Runyan say boredom isn't a flaw, it's a feature, one that drives creativity, deeper thinking, and emotional regulation.
Research tells us that we pick up our phone 150 times a day, okay? Whether we need it or not. We pick it up just to look at it. We pick it up to see if maybe we've missed a notification. How can that be good for us? What did we used to do with that time?
She says we used to fill that time with imagination, play, and problem solving. And losing that could have real consequences for kids.
They go to Google University if they have a question, or they go to AI if they have a question. So if we don't circumnavigate this very, very soon, we're going to find that our children are not capable because their brains didn't fully develop in the way that they should have.
Short-form videos dominate nearly every online platform. Research shows constant exposure can weaken attention spans, reduce focus, heighten anxiety and depression, disrupt sleep, and weaken impulse control by overstimulating the brain. At Ohio State, clinical psychologist Sophie Lazarus agrees sitting in boredom is beneficial, but says there are things to watch out for.
Are you letting your mind wander to, projects that are exciting? Or are you thinking about all the things you didn't do and how you're so inadequate? Like, those are very different ways that it can land. It's not black or white. It really depends a lot on the context.
These professionals say 1 hour won't undo years of doom scrolling, but small, consistent breaks make a difference.
It's like if you're trying to quit smoking, right? And you put down cigarettes for a day. Does that help? Sure. It does, right? It tells you, 1, that you can do it. 2, you're not getting that constant nicotine hit. So this does the same thing.
For Honorado, boredom was once the enemy, but now it's a skill. One many of us have lost and desperately want back.
Even though you are, yes, technically doing nothing because you're sitting in boredom, you're not doing nothing. It's still a positive thing that you're doing for your brain, for your body, for yourself.
So next time you reach for your phone, she says try something radical. Sit still, get bored, let your brain breathe. Because in today's inattention economy, nothing might be exactly what we need.
Taylor joins us now. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I have a hard time sometimes watching a longer video that, and I'll be like, I'm done with this. My attention span has become so short. So when you are sitting there trying to break those habits, she did it for an hour. Do you need the whole hour?
You think you can do it?
I think I could do it.
If you really force yourself?
Yeah, I think I could
it's intimidating, but you do not necessarily have to start with an hour. You can start small, 15, 20, 30 minutes, work your way up. The research also shows the benefit isn't necessarily in doing absolutely nothing. It's just in giving your brain a break from technology. So you can go for a walk, you can pick up a book, do some laundry. Runyan says the whole point is getting yourself back in the driver's seat, because we know when we pick up our phones, even when we think we're in control, guys, the algorithms are. We are not in control. It takes us down rabbit holes. So she just says you want to sit and think in your own thoughts, figure out what you really want to do in that moment. Because when we're on social media, we are really allowing the world to think for us. We're all consuming other people's content instead of creating new ideas for ourselves. So you really have to let boredom work for you. Sit with yourself. What are you really interested in? What do you want to do in each moment?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I was going to ask if you could do other things. I have a book on my nightstand. you
that
picked
has
it up
been
in a while?
sitting there. I haven't even started it, but it's been sitting there, and I set it there with the intention of reading before bed instead of picking up my phone and having this light 3 centimeters from my face. And it's so hard to put the phone down after you pick it up. So I think that just not even picking it up in the first place is probably the best place.
You gotta force
to start.
yourself,
You know, she mentioned kind of the boredom being unhelpful at times. I am a ruminator. I can start thinking, and so I think sometimes that's why I pick up my phone, because maybe if I feel anxious, I'm distracted. So can you explain some of that? Maybe, did she have any tips for combating the unhelpful boredom?
Yeah, so basically she said boredom isn't automatically good for everybody. It really depends on where you let your mind go. So for people who struggle with anxiety or depression, sometimes it cannot be automatically good. You have to see if your mind is going to calm, reflection, creativity, that's great. If it becomes rumination or a lot of negative self-talk the entire time, that's when it can turn really bad. So her advice, be your own scientist, track your mood for a week, use social media how you normally do, then track a week with reduced social media usage or none at all and compare the difference and adjust from there. She said not every trend we see on social media is going to work for everyone, even if it looks like it's a positive. You got to give it a try for yourself and then see what happens.
It's really, really interesting. There are times when even I'm cleaning and I'll go to put on music, like earbuds or a podcast or something, and then I'll say to myself, no, you can clean or do what you need to do with nothing.
We're constantly trying to distract ourselves, and she's like, no, just sit with your own thoughts for once.
All right. Our Taylor Bruck reporting for us this morning.
Taylor, thank you so much. And we'll be right back with more news and weather after the break.